Okay, dreamer please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We had a really big game-changing update today, and let's start off with the new item upgrading system. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to keep up to date with the ever-changing updates. I will break down everything in the update notice so it is clearer for you guys. So to begin with, we now have a new SS rank item, and it is exclusively only for dragon items. S rank items now consist of only perfect raid items and world boss items. All the rest have not been changed from before. Also, transcendent stones are now called power-up stones and will be the main currency used for item upgrading. You can now sell all your Asgard ores and awakened Asgard ores because they can give you power-up stones. Of course, selling items will also give you power-up stones. Two main differences though. Number one, you can actually sell E, S and SS rank items to get stones. In the past, selling these items did not give you any stones. Number two, A rank items have increased in value, so you can get more stones than before if you sell them. Where else can you get it on a stable basis? From weekly quests, you will get 5,000 power-up stones per week. From the new normal check-in, you will also get 10,000 stones per week. So that is already a steady 15,000 power-up stones income. Like before, Siege Defense gives you up to 15,000 power-up stones from your 3 hard difficulty entries and 40,000 stones if your guild secures a 200 point total. Altogether, you can get up to 70,000 stones per week. So please do your Siege Defense. It has become more important than ever. You can also get 20,000 stones in the Topaz shop. But the more interesting thing is that now you can actually rank up your item to another rank. In the past, the only way to get Fallout items, for example, was to synthesize using several 7-9 items, and there was no way to get dragon items besides synthesizing perfect raid items. But now you can do rank up all the way and get the dragon item from a basic 7-9 item. However, the cost is extremely heavy, and if you haven't done the math, you will need a total of 599,900 power-up stones and 3,380,000 gold. We will come back to this figure later, but also note that there are some types of items like C rank raid items which cannot be ranked up. Let's look at item power-up. As you know, in the past we used items and Asgard ores and awakened Asgard ores for power-up of items. The gold cost for power-up from 0 to +5 has not changed. The only requirement is the type of currency. So for an awakened item, the total number of power-up stones needed from 0 to +5 will be 1,250 along with 50,000 gold. But the most important part of the entire update is that you will no longer need multiple copies of items to transcend a base item now. Remember, you used to need 5 other dragon books to make 1 + 5 dragon book +10. Now all you need are power-up stones and gold to make it +10. The system has simplified a lot, and it actually saves you a lot more resources, especially for S rank and SS rank items. Gold cost remains the same at 300,000 per level, and in fact the cost in terms of power-up stones also remains largely unchanged from before. I have put up how many power-up stones and how many transcendent stones we needed in the past for the same purpose. So to power up a dragon book from +5 to +10, you will still need a total of 100,000 stones. Remember, this amount was really costly and difficult to get back then. Also, you will realize the only difference lies in the A rank items, which cost slightly more now to power up. Now let's really break down all the figures and costs of the entire system. Here I have a spike crit weapon, for example. It is currently unawakened at +0, so let us just see how much I need to make it a +10 dragon via rank up. Like I said before, we will need 599,900 power-up stones and 3,380,000 gold. But how do you actually compute this? Basically, the first part of the cost is to make your weapon +5. Then awaken it, which costs 300,000. After awakening, you need to make it +5 again. Thereafter, from +5 to +10, the cost here is rank dependent. And a D rank item will require 9,250 stones and 1.5 million gold. It is only after you have hit +10 then can you finally begin to scale up the ranks all the way to SS, and that's how you get the entire figure. So you might think powering up a dragon item costs 500,000 stones and 1.5 million gold, while ranking up from a D rank item costs 599,900 stones and 3.38 million. What is more worth it? I think this is an issue of convenience. Is a dragon item more accessible than items from other ranks? Do you have a very stable and good income of power-up stones and gold? Because if dragon items are insanely hard to get, then for the sake of your progress, investing more stones and 2 times the amount of gold just to get 1 plus 10 dragon item could be very well worth it. This ultimately depends on how much time you play the game as well. If you can easily get dragon items because you work hard in your raid and accumulated them from the previous raid shops, then in that case you can save on all the 100,000 stones and a lot less gold. So basically, if we see it this way, it is pretty well balanced. If you have poor items and want progress, it is definitely possible if you can top up a bit more resources. But otherwise, you can still progress slowly by acquiring actual higher rank items via PvE. Honestly, if you think about it, the developers only removed the system where you needed duplicate copies, because there is not a big difference between this current system and the previous Transcendent Stone system. It feels like they streamlined and actually enforced that system on everyone now. I mean, in the long run, it will help because item progression will be much simpler, such that you don't have to spend time getting duplicates and save a lot less gold because all the duplicates no longer need to be powered up. Another point to bring up is the selling value of plus 5 SS rank items. Notice that selling 1 will give you 100,000 power up stones. Selling 5 in this case will give you 500 power up stones, which is the same amount required to power up an SS tier item from plus 5 to plus 10. This is somewhat similar to the old system where you can still use 5 other copies to make a plus 10. However, you do need to sell them in this case. The benefit is that you can actually sell other unused crit SS rank items to power up something more necessary like a speed SS rank item. So in that sense, this system makes it far more flexible as well in terms of item power up, because if you do have a lot of unwanted SS rank items, you can actually get rid of them and get the power up stones to power up an item that you really need. Hope this video gave you a better idea of the entire new item upgrading system. Feel free to leave your thoughts and questions about it in the comments below, and stay tuned for Truth and Sebastian's reviews. Thank you so much and see you!